The Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. They call themselves America's first line of defense against international threats. And, so the theory goes, they employ all sorts of methods to get the job done, from chemtrails to mind-controlled drugs. But of course, they actually operate in great secrecy.
You labor in obscurity by choice and design, serving with quiet patriotism that seeks neither spotlight nor praise.
It's arguably the most famous intelligence agency in the world, founded in 1947 in the aftermath of the Second World War. The agency's motto, "The work of a nation, the center of intelligence." It operates out of the George Bush Center for Intelligence in Virginia, named after perhaps the agency's most famous director and former President of the United States. It employs an estimated 21,000 people, and as of 2013, had an annual budget of $15 billion. Its most secretive practices are the work of its Special Activities Center, divided into two branches. The Special Operations Group, responsible for tactical paramilitary operations, in other words, the men and women with guns, and the other branch, the Political Action Group, responsible for political influence, propaganda, and economic warfare, in other words, the men and women with pens. And the agency operates globally. Its reach can be felt on every continent, but mostly it's here and here. One of its most notable successes came in 1953. The elected Prime Minister of Iran wanted to nationalize the oil industry. The UK and America weren't having it. The CIA staged a campaign of bribery and propaganda, stirring up discontent until eventually revolution, then arranging for the return of the exiled US-friendly Shah. A short-term victory with long-term consequences. 8 years later, it set its sights on Cuba. Communist revolutionary had taken over the island and Washington wanted them out. The CIA covertly trained, armed and funded a group of around 1,500 Cuban exiles. Their mission? To invade and overthrow Fidel Castro. With US air and sea support, the Bay of Pigs invasion was bound to be a success. Or not. Ordinary Cubans didn't come to the exiles' aid as expected, leaving the American president embarrassed.
Victory has 100 fathers and defeat is an orphan.
And it was this very public defeat that cemented Castro's rule, which went on and on for 49 years. Fast forward to the 80s and the Cold War keeps the spooks busy. During the Soviet war in Afghanistan, CIA paramilitary operations officers ensured US-funded equipment reached guerrilla forces fighting the Russians. An operation credited with helping to end the conflict, but it also opened the door to the Taliban. But that wouldn't become a huge regret for at least another decade or so,